Welcome, everyone. Today we're diving into a really wild press briefing meltdown at the White House. It's like a cascade of conflicting claims, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's quite a roller coaster of events. So where should we start with this meltdown?
Well, the first major point was about this outrageous claim that there was a burial site showing genocide of white Africans. Apparently, thousands of white South Africans killed. But the evidence just wasn't there. The propagandist Caroline Levitt defended it by saying the video clearly showed crosses representing those killed, even citing the Associated Press.
Right. And isn't that just a hyperbolic twist? I mean, asserting that those crosses prove a genocide is quite contentious.
Exactly. And it's like they piled on more claims. Not only did they defend that narrative, but the briefing then spiraled into other equally provocative topics. For instance, talk about Trump's meetings with crypto meme coin holders. They claim that, hey, these meetings were on his personal time to dodge accountability.
Yep.
That bit really highlights the double standards being pushed.
And then there was the budget discussion, right? Someone claimed this bill would save 1.6 trillion, which frankly sounds like a stretch considering the track record of fiscal decisions.
Oh, for sure. It's like they were trying to spin a story of miraculous, almost magical savings. Yet, in reality, the numbers and their context didn't back that up. And then, you had the transparency issue arise. They dodged questions about, releasing the list of dinner attendees and details on the Qatari aircraft deals.
Right, which brings up an important point. If the goal is to project transparency, why then refuse simple details that could, hold them accountable?
Exactly. And then the briefing took an even more bizarre turn. There was that clip where Caroline Levitt claimed that there would be no hatred under Trump, while simultaneously the narrative painted him as the enemy from within. It's like a complete contradiction. It almost reads like a script for a political theater piece.
Yes, it's a perfect example of mixing propaganda with policy. And there was also the outrageous twist about targeting pro-Palestinian voices with a Freudian slip. She even corrected herself mid-statement to pro-Hamas.
Absolutely. That slip reveals a lot. It signals an underlying bias while trying to mask it under claims of being against hatred. And it was further extended with constant references to radical left-wing judges who, according to the briefing, were obstructing Trump's executive orders.
That certainly raises issues about the blending of personal attacks with institutional criticism. But don't you think it's also a bit overblown? Equating judicial independence with a radical agenda seems like, well, a deliberate attempt to undermine trust in the system.
I hear you. And sure, while some criticisms may have merit, the overall tone is excessively theatrical. It's as if they're using every tool in the propaganda kit, from reviling judges to dismissing questions of fiscal irresponsibility, as a spectacle to distract from real policy concerns.
Yeah.
The drama definitely overshadows substantive debate.
And then there's also that bit about international student policies at Harvard. The claim was, if international students try to enroll, they'd be deported, implying some sort of extreme measure that borders on, concentration camps in various countries.
Exactly. It's another case of incendiary rhetoric pushing unfounded policies. And then later in the briefing, the discussion shifts to how Trump uses his business acumen as just a fallback excuse for his presidential actions. It's like he's saying he was such a successful businessman that consolidates every questionable decision. It's quite the narrative.
Right. While on one hand it's touted as strong leadership, on the other, it smacks of self-serving, almost cult-like behavior. Especially the assertion that the president's approval rating is at an all-time high because he delivers despite the controversies.
Exactly. It's like a double-edged sword, using populist drama to both rally support and intimidate dissenters. And then there's that strong claim about the need for retribution against Republicans like Massey and Davidson, who dared vote against his budget. It's like punishment for political defiance.
Yep.
That struck a nerve.
I have to say, though, I respectfully challenge that perspective. Punishing dissent in this manner undermines the very principles of democratic debate. It doesn't create a healthy political environment, does it?
Absolutely, and that's a key critique. Using retribution as a political tool only deepens divisions. And then, amidst all this chaos, there's a promotional side note urging viewers to use tools like ground news to burst out of their political bubbles. It's like a call for independent fact-checking in a sea of misinformation. Quite ironic, given the overall narrative.
True. It's interesting that while the press briefing is fraught with misinformation and aggressive rhetoric, there's also this push for transparency through alternative news sources. It really highlights how, in this age of information overload, staying informed means actively questioning mainstream narratives.
Exactly. And it's this very need for independent thought that stands out in the transcript. Despite the theatrical antics, there remains an underlying lesson. Always dig deeper and look beyond sensationalism to find the truth. It's a wake-up call, really.
So, do you think these kinds of press briefings will eventually force more balance in political discourse?
One can hope. If public demand for accountability grows, maybe this chaotic mix of spectacle and spin will give way to clearer, fact-based communication. But with the current landscape, it's tough to say. It's like a high-wire act without a safety net.
Indeed, it all comes down to whether the audience starts valuing rigorous facts over sensational rhetoric. And while some of these tactics might work in rallying a base, they ultimately erode trust in institutions.
Exactly. And that erosion of trust is the real danger here. The transcript not only shows a press conference in disarray, but also reflects the ongoing battle over what constitutes legitimate political discourse. It's a real mess, but one that needs unpacking.
And it serves as a reminder for all of us to scrutinize not just the facts, but also the motives behind them. It's essential, especially now, to seek multiple perspectives.
Right? It's a call for media literacy and critical thinking. With such, partisan narratives, the importance of independent verification becomes undeniable. Absolutely crucial.
So, in the end, while this press briefing meltdown is a case study in propaganda gone overboard, it also teaches us how to read between the lines.
Exactly, a tangled web of political theater and propaganda that, if nothing else, drives home the need for a well-informed public. Thanks for the spirited discussion. Stay curious and keep questioning, everyone.